Hi, my name is Jarek Ostrowski. I'm a product designer on the Create team at GitLab, specifically Knowledge and Gitter. So for my experience baseline, it is reviewing changes. So when someone needs to know what changes or improvements are needed in their work, I want to share my feedback quickly and effectively so I can dedicate more time to other tasks, knowing that the author has the right information to proceed. So I limited the scope of this experience baseline. Instead of going through the discovery process and through the actual reviewing of changes, I'm going to stick to just the discovery process. And in the first step would be going to GitLab.com. And there's a couple ways to discover when you need to review some changes from an author. One would be through to-dos, and this isn't necessarily specific to a review request, more just the author would mention you to request that review to review whatever changes they made. So that's one thing where you're not sure if you're getting it to do regarding a review or if it's simply just a mention on another issue or merge request. So let's just assume that this is a review request. To do that, you click on the to do to see if this is in fact a review request. And it looks like Shane is asking for my opinion and help. So that would be one way of discovering to review changes, and I would go through the review change process at that point. So another way you can discover changes that need to be reviewed in merge requests are through labels. So this workflow assumes that you use labels for that process. We use labels at GitLab to signify when something needs to be reviewed. We'll add a review label to that merge request, and the person responsible for reviewing changes should be keeping track of the list of merge requests that have that review label on them. So this is that workflow. First, you would go to gitlab.com. You would find the project that you are responsible for reviewing changes. It's nice because you have the projects that you frequently visit under the projects menu, so that's kind of nice. If you don't see the project that you're responsible for beyond this 5, you can go ahead and search for that project, and that would come up. So then once you see the project you're responsible for reviewing changes, you go ahead and select that, and it'll bring you to the project view. And once in the project view, you can go to merge requests, and in the merge request view, there's a filter because especially for us, there's a lot of open merge requests, ones that have been merged, closed. So this filter is ideal to filter by the label that I need to find, which is the review label. So in order to filter this list by the review label, you go ahead and enter the filter bar in focus, and I can see right here I can search by label, so I'll go ahead and select a label. That opens up the labels drop down, and there's quite a few, quite extensive actually. It's kind of unfortunate. It would be nice if there was some top tier labels, some of the important labels that are frequently visited either by set within the project itself or set by me saying I really want to follow the review label, so it would be nice to have the review label up here to just select without having to type anything in. But for now, the way it is, I'll go ahead and start typing to try and filter by that review label. So here it is. So here's the code review label, and once I've typed in enough letters where it comes up, I'll go ahead and select that to filter. Oh, but it actually does not filter yet, and that's somewhat confusing too. I assumed when I clicked on it, it would just start, it would filter the results below that, but I believe it's going to be hitting enter to finalize that filter. So I'll hit enter, and it does in fact filter by that code review label. So once you're in that view, you can go ahead and select a merge request to look in. It also would be nice if somehow I could see how many changes have been made to this merge request. For instance, some merge requests might be just have the label on and might have very limited changes, or some might be more extensive. That could be something that would be nice to have. And basically the next step would be to enter the merge request to go and review those changes. So in the first discovery workflow using to-dos, I would give it a benchmark score of a C. One thing that's difficult is determining whether a to-do is in fact a review request or if it's just a mention on an issue regarding a discussion. But it's pretty straightforward. It's more of a direct line to reviewing changes than the second method, which is labels. So for the labels discovery, I would give it a benchmark score of a C as well. There's a lot of steps that go into filtering merge requests with that label. There's also other ways to do that, to filter merge requests by label, by using our boards or actually using our labels page. But both, including the workflow that I went through, have just about the same amount of steps to finding a list that filters by that label. So I would give both a score of a C. I think there's a few things that could be improved to speed up that workflow, especially filtering, and just small changes that I believe would make the experience much faster and more efficient. And that's reviewing changes. Thank you.